Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello. Seems like we're back.
Everybody's doing all right. Love this, I do. Love it. Yeah.
Right, so sorry about that.
Data centres are popping up everywhere. What's that all about? Creating a new simulation, do you think, guys? The old one broke? I think the old simulation's broke.
Hey, Grumpy Granddad Bob. Welcome in, guys. Sorry about that. My OBS went down for some reason.
There's actually cars here and stuff, so don't know. But I hope I get a little look, because I'm absolutely cream crackered. I've had walk from Warwick to here. Sorry about showing you my ugly mug, Generals. I'm just chatting with you. Oh, is that dogs? Not dogs.
Release the hounds.
It actually looks.
Release the hounds.
Looks like it's open. There's a market on or something. Some sort of marquee on. I think somebody's having a do in here. I don't know. Yeah, there's people here. I don't actually know. I mean, this is the main entrance here.
That's quite busy.
Cars here.
There's a lot of cars there, isn't there? Look at all these cars doing it. Are they just using the car park?
Check this place out. Oh, it looks like someone's having a private do down there.
Music room?
Look at that, it's all red brick inside, Generals. And someone was asking about render. That's your render there. You've got the old fireplaces and all sorts of stuff.
But on the outside, it's this stuff. Has to be done afterwards.
Man, look at this old relic.
It was either done at the same time or afterwards.
Look at all the brick. One of the original Freemason lodges. Looks like one of Alistair Crowley's places. Isn't it? Man. What's happened to that? Been annihilated. I don't know if there's actually a way down there. Don't really want to go just walking in on somebody's function. So it looks like a wedding or something.
You get around this fence, walk around
I
it.
don't know.
Barbed wire. Barbed wire.
It's a pretty big drop. We'll take a look. 19 minutes. We'll have to be a quick look. Look at this place. I can't get in there. I think there's a wedding or a baby shower going on or something. Don't actually know.
Why would they do that in the ruins of an old Mason lodge? That's kind of strange in itself, right? I thought that was like a film crew or something. Are they filming down there?
Place.
He's got big cameras there. Big camera there. What are they doing down there?
Look at this place.
What's this thing he's got? Big camera there, so he's definitely a photographer. What's this thing? Gee.
I can't get in there.
That's the best bit to go.
I think there's a wedding or a baby shower going on or something.
Oh man, there's a lot of people down there by the cars, right? Around the river bit.
Take a look down
around
there.
that way. Look like it was barbed wire. razor wire.
I think there's a bit of woodland here. Whether I can get through and get into it, I don't know. Try, I suppose. Looks a bit prickly, Generals. Looks a bit barbed wiry and prickly.
Not know why OBS did that.
I don't know if all them cameras can see.
That barbed wire metal
Doing
fence.
any harm, are we?
They really don't want you over that side. Don't want you over this side, do they? It's the way probably in to around the back of it. Might be able to walk down the river. Waiting.
What we got here? This look easy.
It's barbed wire. So it's a barbed wire fence. They really don't want you on this side.
Oh, go nuts.
What's your newt signs there, Guess?
That's why I bring super glue, Generals, just in case I have to glue me wild gonads back together. And I don't know how far we can get here. I'll try my best for you. Just want to take a look at the side of that building. Actually got a pathway here.
This is the way in. Look, there's actually a natural path here, so people have walked this many times, but they've barbed wired it off, so they don't want you down on this path.
Excuse me, Adam. Like I say, sorry about the wait, Generals. Let's try and get around here.
Yeah, this is the way I would have definitely done the same thing. Come back round this way and. Lovely little opening there, isn't it?
Someone's left us some steps, bless them.
This.
Where are we going? Oh God. I bet you didn't expect this, did you, Generals? Sorry about my ugly mug. I didn't expect it. I'm expecting someone come get me in a minute. We're out there. Freemason busting. Now. So another fence here. They really don't want you getting in here, do they?
Off the big green fence, it might come across. Going down. You normally do stuff like that sometimes.
Right. I'm going to need my stuff here. That bloody razor wire again. I don't know why they do that. Sorry, Generals. Bear with me. Oh. Man. Right, I'm in. I don't know if I can get back out. Here we go. What are you doing this in the day?
This is the part I really don't want you to see as well.
Get there. Brick. Guys. Look at it's like Castle Grayskull. Geopod, is it mount? Not sure. But I guarantee you there's a camera somewhere watching me. Plunging. It's probably where they get the kids. Look at this. geopole melted mass of a castle. Whatever it is.
Good to me. The very bottom layer. Very bottom layer. Looks like they're building on the foundations of laid down.
Look at this. Geopole melted mass of a castle. Whatever it is. It's all been blocked in. One tunnel there. Lovely architecture.
That very bottom layer is off. It's completely different.
Everybody comes, if anyone comes now, it's game over.
That is
Not a little dungeon down
definitely the
here.
remnants of nature. The very bottom layer.
What it is though.
That looks quite recent, that lock. Careful. Oh, look.
Channels.
It's found the way in.
Like an old bath. There's an old bath in here. Now where this actually leads to. It's all brick underneath.
And another level.
Not much to see, but that's a strange place. Have a little bath there. A little hidey hole. Strange bath. Weird. Very strange. Oh man, I'm injured. Never mind.
It's trying to jump
Look at this
fences with
place.
barbed wire on. That
Can't
bottom
believe
layer,
I've actually managed to get in here.
especially there. There. Yeah.
Can't believe we've actually managed to get in here. Like I say, I really don't know how long it's going to last before I get rumbled. I really hope nobody next me back. There's a camera
That
up there.
arch. You've got the top part of that arch.
Oh, generals.
That went right down.
You
So
know,
there's
I've got
definitely
that
another
on
level.
camera. I scared the buzzard off. So yeah, camera's caught me. Been rumbled. I scared the falcon off. Sorry dude, grassing me up. What are you grassing me? We've got a bit of it anyway. What a strange lodge. Strange old melted geopolymer. Freemason lodge. One of the originals. What the hell is this? Flood, December 1900. Flood marks.
Blood.
I want the flood marks.
What? That's 1700. Blood December 31st. That's basically New Year's Eve. 1900.
1900. Flood marks.
By 1970. 19. Or was that 1770?
I want the flood marks. 1807.
Oh, 18.
July 1878. Look how neat the writing was. November 1890 something. Man, this place is unreal. I'll have to come back. I'll have to come back for a proper tour. The brick goes all inside it. Steps there. Big old doorway went here. think I'm going to have to head out to a wild army because it just caught me on camera. I think I need to get out here because I'm going to get rumbled. Well, I've been rumbled, I'm on camera. Worth it. I managed to get a good look at it, a good close-up look at it. Guys, Cleft Lodge. I've got to try and get back out without getting caught. What a beautiful, beautiful setting though.
No, I got lost, mate. I was going. I was walking around searching for the
Onside
times.
the River Avon.
Just ended up here. Lost.
Maybe these bits. Just going out to here. There's a bloody razor wire. It's on
They
everything.
don't want you there, do they?
Everywhere they don't want you to go.
In the places they don't want you, they razor wire and barbed wire.
It didn't stop us, did it? We had a good week. I showed you a
Good
bit
job,
of it
Gaz, you got in there.
from the other side of the river. Now, I wish I could have shown you more. But they've got me on camera now, so I need to get out of here before the police come. They probably will. Because they are chasing you for petty crimes these days. They don't want chasing you for proper crimes anymore. They're not chasing after you for little driving things and petty stuff. Stuff like that. So yeah, just a pretty quick explore there. I've got to try and get back out without getting proper rumbled. Bit of an adventure for you there though, Generals. Not as exciting as I'd like, but we got close. What's this? Look at there. What's this here nestled away? But nobody got to see this. It's like an old... What is it? It's an old well. It's still running. Awesome. Fresh water. Strange carvings on it. Like an old tombstone, isn't it? It's like a tomb. There's the head. There's the bodies. And there's the fresh running water. Absolutely awesome. But not many people get to see that. I'll try and find my way out to here somehow. I'm intrigued to see what's around Warwick. Because like I say, you've got the old castle. This is just one of me. This is just the first vid really. I'm hoping to try getting an old church. I'm hoping to get around the castle. So I might have some more footage coming for you, Generals, if the police don't come. If you don't hear from me for a bit, I'm probably in Warwick Cells. It's brick though. Brick goes deep. Brick goes deep. And do you know what else, Generals? I'm looking, where's my phone? I'll tell you how old brick is. Now, hold on a sec, Generals. There's a Bible verse there. Exodus 4:25, chapter 5. Yeah? Bricks were actually in Exodus. Get on that. Who'd have thought it? I was reading my Bible the other night and it popped in me. It mentions bricks loads. Building with bricks and all sorts. So yeah, I'm actually going to go this way because it looks a bit easier. Just don't want to get told off. I mean, it'd be funny if I did, Lord, but now that camera's got me, it's game over. But yeah, I'll come back for a proper visit because you can go all inside and see all the checkerboard stuff. Guys, Cliff House, Generals. Bit of research on it on the tube. It'll all come up. But like I say, they only have open days, very varied. In between you have to book. with it being on a Sunday, you know, I'm struggling to get here on a Sunday, so that's all I could get in for you really, Generals, but you came on the mission with me. It's one of my missions completed, and just bloody razor wire. So yeah, it's one of my missions completed. Now I've just got to get back down to Warwick and hopefully get some good footage of the town if I can get out of here. Great, little woodland explore for us, Generals. Now, that gap in the fence was down here. So what was that place, Jared? I know it was one of the first Freemason lodges, but
Was it originally?
was it Maltese? Was it geopolymer? Was it both? It was definitely reset. So it was loads
Built
of
on
brick.
the foundations of an ancient tree.
Loads of brick, loads of stone.
Really see.
Ancient flood markings. How long been on tree? Sure I saw the gap in the fence. Maybe this is it here. Yeah, I'll get through that. Bless. Oh God, Generals. Ooh. So yeah, I got as close as I could for you.
Sure. It's quite a big fence, wasn't it?
Well, I don't want to
There's had to
finish
climb
on
over.
this noisy road here. So,
That looks sketchy as anything. You're
what I'm
gonna
going
get
to do is end the video there. I'm going to take a trip into Warwick town, go check the castle out, go check the river out and everything. What a bonkers place that. You go on Wikipedia and put in, well, there's the only point going on Wikipedia. Guy's Cliff House. Go check it out, Generals, and I'll see you in the next vid. Mission completed. Boots on the ground in Warwick. Have a good one, Generals. You came with me. Oi, oi.
good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get on to how long we got.
But romanticized nostalgia is not the main reason that people cling so tenaciously, often even angrily, to what is essentially the adult version of Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy. What primarily motivates them is fear, but it is not the lie itself that scares people. It is what the lie says about the world around us and how it really functions. For if NASA was able to pull off such an outrageous hoax before the entire world and then keep that lie in place for 4 decades, what does that say about the control of the information we receive? What does that say about the media and the scientific community and the educational community and all the other institutions we depend on to tell us the truth? What does that say about the very nature of the world we live in? This is what scares the hell out of people and prevents them from even considering the possibility that they could have been so thoroughly duped.
Yep.
It's not being lied to about the moon landings that people have a problem with. It is the realization that comes with that revelation. If they could lie about that, they could lie about anything. Dave McGowan, Wagging the Moon Doggy. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to speak today on the phony moon landings and space fakery. Now, I've put out quite a few videos on the moon landings hoax and space fakery, presenting a myriad of proofs, evincing that we've been lied to about pretty much everything related to space. If you are on the fence, I hope that I may present enough evidence here today that you'll go out and conduct your own investigation. At the very least, I can maybe point you in the right direction. I find it interesting how our affinity with space has become so strong that I would dare say that people love space. And that love is so blinding
It's
that they
so
will
obvious it's a
deliberately
model.
not
It's
face
so
the
obvious.
obvious adultery taking place behind their backs. I don't understand the willfully blind person. Hey man, I have pictures proving that she's lying and cheating on you. I don't want to see that. Get away from me. She'd never do that. Our love is too strong. I can't compete with that level of indoctrinated space love. No one has ever been to space, but the media has molded humanity into a society of myopic space lovers who will defend space's honor to their dying breath. I guess it's pretty pathetic. Hopefully, we can break your love affair with space. It's not a question about how much proof we have evincing the Apollo missions in space are fake. The real question is whether you will look. Here is one of the earliest attempts at faking space. The flight was in 1962, and yes, this was passed off as legitimate footage. We already know that these high-altitude balloons are the closest that we're ever going to get to space. But I do find it interesting how we were supposedly taking astronauts into these craft as early as 1962.
That sky.
But this part is the best.
This is meant to be legit footage.
Here's the so-called...
This is meant to be legit footage. It's insane, right?
Are the closest that
and the
we're
people fall
ever
for
going
this
to
in
get
the
to space.
60s or whenever.
I do find
I mean, look at that nonsense. It's laughable.
it interesting how we were
The moon's hilarious because where the cutout of the black paper and all the little dots in the black paper and the light being shone through, as he moves across, you can see the angle of the light change. It's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, does anyone spot any star systems they recognise? I mean, what about this cluster of stars up here? Has anyone ever seen this before? Never. No one's ever seen these star systems. They're just random holes poked in a bit of paper, black paper with a light shone through the back.
we're supposedly taking astronauts
And see the light. Oh, come on. Just watch the moon's light.
We already know that these high-altitude balloons are the closest that we're ever going to get to space. But I do find it interesting how we were supposedly taking astronauts into these craft as early as 1962.
Terrible. So bad.
But this part is the best. Here's the so-called footage from space.
It's insane.
Look at that
People
one
fell
more
for
time.
that. I mean,
you know, there's some shill liar out there somewhere trying to defend this footage. It's
It's
refraction
undefendable.
that
You
made
can't
the
defend
star
that.
appear through the moon. And that's why the footage looks like it was taken from the Twilight Zone television show. Obviously, the level of fakery has gotten much better since the 1960s, but mistakes
it's
are...
literally just going around. So this is probably like think of a black bit of paper and make a circle from it and tape it up. And the camera's on the inside, the light's on the outside. And either the paper's turning or the camera is.
are still being made. The proof isn't what NASA got right. The proof is what NASA got wrong. Because if NASA faked any of it, then we rightfully should assume that NASA faked all of it.
It's all bullshit.
NASA is a criminal organization. Every one of its executives should be thrown in slave labor camps until they pay back all of the money they stole under false pretense from the American taxpayer.
Agreed. Give it all back.
Let's begin with the laughable Apollo moon missions. I don't believe there's a single genuine person who has diligently looked into the moon landings hoax evidence and still believed in the Apollo missions. The moon landings are patently ridiculous. You just need to be able to set aside your indoctrination and spend some time researching it with a skeptical but open mind. For goodness sakes, the last time man was allegedly on the moon was December 14th, 1972. It has been nearly 47 years since man was supposedly on the moon using only 1960s technology, which astronaut Donald Pettit says NASA destroyed. That fact alone says they lied and shifts the burden of proof to NASA. There is no plausible excuse. NASA steals $59.7 million per day from the American taxpayer. They certainly have enough money to repeat what was already done back in 1969. Oh yeah, I forgot what Don Pettit said. That amazing technology was destroyed. Back in February 2001, there was a special on Fox that was called Conspiracy Theory: Did We Land on the Moon? I watched that show when it aired, and I thought the Fox show raised some excellent points. However, a couple years later, I came across a debunking article by Phil Plait on the website Bad Astronomy. This article is still cited as the creme de la creme of debunking articles. I read through it all and became convinced that there was an answer to all of those conspiracy allegations. At least that's what I hoped. At that time, Phil Plait was my hero. He saved me from the crazy moon landing conspiracy theorists. From that time, we saw many other so-called debunking experts rise up, like the Mythbusters, Snopes.com, Metabunk, Popular Science, and many more. I mean, who can doubt the sincerity of the Mythbusters, Jamie and Adam, right?
Those two clowns.
Damn liars. But let me get back to my story. For
Never
several years,
never liked Mythbusters.
I was one of those
Never
pompous
liked it.
people who scoffed at moon landing deniers because I read that article from Phil Plait.
Oh, for flick of the
Then
state
one
of
day,
that.
another lawyer recommended that I read a series of articles on the fossil fuel hoax written by a Dave McGowan. I actually don't know if you can still read those articles, but what McGowan wrote made absolute sense. That there is no such thing as a fossil fuel. It is an utter hoax. We could devote a whole conference to that subject. But then I changed my life
Proven,
forever
isn't it?
because I clicked on another article by Dave McGowan
I remember
titled
watching a presentation years ago about that. About oil not being
Wagging the Moon Doggy.
what they say it is.
David tragically died a few years ago from cancer, but I hope his work will be remembered for 100 years. That is, if it can survive the coming internet purge. I highly recommend you read the entire Wagging the Moon Doggy series while you still can. And if you prefer, I have the full narration on my YouTube channel. You can ignore everything I say here, but please go read the Wagging the Moon Doggy series because it is awesome. I'm going to cover many of the points made by David McGowan, but I can't compete with his humor. Even though he believed in space, McGowan was brilliant. But above all else, David introduced me to these two laughable Apollo photographs that destroyed the NASA moon landings forever for me.
The old Kubrick's Terminator line there. There it is. Right there.
I certainly didn't see these photographs on Phil Plait's
That's
website.
the
or
studio.
on
So this
the
is all studio here.
Mythbusters. This here is the official lunar lander. When I usually show this to people, they automatically think it's a joke. No, seriously, this is an official photograph of the Apollo lunar lander. Fortunately, they took a close-up photograph as well.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Curtain rods, aluminum foil, tar paper, scotch tape, some useless abstract art sculptures that do nothing but look spacey, and some very poor construction. Look at the paneling. It's a disaster. If someone sheetrocked your basement like this, you'd demand your money back. But this is supposed to be an amazing space
It's meant to be airtight, isn't it? Isn't it meant to be like super airtight? Oh dear.
ship, constructed by the
I mean,
best.
these curtain rod poles and these. Just look, even the connection there is like one of those old 70s like tea pieces, right? Terrible.
Engineers and scientists. It's absolute garbage. A
Yeah.
shameful prop made by a high school drama club. Looking at the photographs side by side, it's unbelievable to me that they
awful.
got away with this for so long. Our academics, scientists, and engineers so institutionalized that they can't see how absurd this is. It's incredibly stupid. I'm sorry, but this is not a spaceship. So this brings me to proof number 1, the lunar lander joke. There are so many problems that this entire presentation could be on the lunar lander. The first huge problem I want to discuss about the lunar lander is
You
the
could do
fact
like a 2-hour vid on this thing.
that it was never flown on Earth. Not even once. Please go and try to find a video of astronauts getting some flight time in this piece of junk. Just think about it. This drama prop was never, even allegedly, flown by an astronaut on Earth in front of a camera.
Terminator line.
In fact,
Beyond that, it's a projection. You can clearly see it. Once you see it, you can't stop seeing it, and it's in every NASA photo, every single one.
Find a video of astronauts getting some flight time in this piece of junk. Just think about it. This drama prop was never, even allegedly, flown by an astronaut on Earth in front of a camera. In fact, besides NASA's alleged dubious pictures in space, there is zero proof that this alleged vehicle could actually fly. This comical contraption, after traveling 234,000 miles in space, supposedly fell from lunar orbit at 4,000 miles per hour, and this difficult maneuver was never practiced. The lunar lander landed in poor visibility on very rough, crater and boulder infested terrain that
Portland
was all
cement.
the same Portland cement color.
I've been saying that for donkey's years. This is Portland cement. This is cement. Mixture of sand and with probably an inch of cement on top of it. Because you need the imprint. You need that imprint like that. That's what the cement does that. Does exactly that. If it's a tiny bit moist, do that. No, even when it's dry, it will do this.
Just
My
imagine.
dad used to have bags of this cement in the garden. We used to play with it as kids. So I know exactly the way. You put your hand in it, make a pile of it, put your hand in it, and even the lines on your hand will be in the imprint. Crazy.
how
So
easy it
when
would
I
have been
first
to-
saw that, and I just thought that's exactly what they've used. They've used cement on the top, like inch or two.
hit a boulder or fall into a crater when you only have these small windows flying over terrain
And that
all looks like-
whistleblower, do you remember what you said? Dead Sea? They were bringing in sand and lots of cement in to the Nevada desert.
Portland cement. This difficult type of landing was never practiced. The lunar lander ascent stage then supposedly blasted off the moon, again achieving 4,000 miles per hour to rendezvous up in space with a spaceship that had been orbiting the moon dozens of times. Again, this maneuver was never practiced on Earth. Here is Armstrong flying one of the much smaller so-called training vehicles in optimal conditions. In this vehicle, he has full visibility and there is no rough terrain. The accident almost killed Armstrong, but he wasn't alone.
He had to eject from this, didn't
Three
he?
of the 5 training vehicles crashed, and the training vehicles were much smaller, had much better visibility, were flown in optimal conditions over runways in daylight, were never flown in situations similar to what would be experienced on the moon, and still, 3/5 of the training vehicles crashed. That is not a good safety record, and these were far simpler craft. Notice that the conditions the training vehicle was flying over were nowhere near what would happen on the moon. It's flying over an airfield.
That definitely
You'd think
fake.
that NASA
That
would
is
want its
that
astronauts
background.
trained to fly in
That's
low
it.
visibility over rough, rocky terrain so that its astronauts would have practice not hitting a boulder or falling down a crater. Yet, NASA didn't find it prudent to have the astronauts actually practice flying the lunar lander on Earth. No reasonable, prudent person would consider this a safe way of landing on the moon. Could you imagine what would have happened if Apollo 11 crashed its untested lander and the astronauts all died a horrible death, and the public found out that NASA never actually had the astronauts practice flying the lunar lander multiple times on Earth? NASA would have been defunded forever, and its managers would have probably gone to prison. There's simply no way that NASA would have taken such a risk, and there was only one way NASA was guaranteed 100% success, and that is by faking it. Next, they want you to believe that this piece
Show
of
you
junk
the studio.
could support life up to 3
in the
days on the
background.
moon. What kind of life
Projection.
support would be necessary? What kind of air conditioning would be necessary in the harshest environment imaginable? The temperature on the moon allegedly varies from negative 387 Fahrenheit at night to 253 Fahrenheit during the day. The Apollo 17 astronauts supposedly re-entered the lunar lander on 3 occasions after even driving around in a dune buggy. What kind of dust-absorbing system did it have? Where were the batteries to give it power for 3 days? How much oxygen did it have to repressurize on each occasion and last for 3 days? How is there so much room in the lunar lander that NASA was able to attach a dune buggy on later missions? Did NASA have the foresight to leave a large trunk for a fold-up dune buggy with tires and large 1970 batteries? What about all of the bulky experiments? Where did they fit? The lunacy of the lunar lander should be enough to convince any thinking person that the moon landings were fake. But we can't stop now. Exhibit 2. Kubrick's Apollo 11 lunar docking footage. So, after the astronauts were able to play around on the moon up to 3 days, the astronauts had to hop back into the ascent stage of the lunar lander and blast off the moon and catch up with the command module that had been orbiting at 4,000 miles per hour up to 3 days.
It's comical.
Fortunately, the NASA astronauts knew exactly where the command module was after it had supposedly...
So, how do I think they've done that? I think they're using a rotating mock-up of the moon. This thing's just in front of the camera doing these maneuvers, giving the illusion of moving.
Of the lunar lander and blast off the moon and catch up with the command module that had been orbiting at 4,000 miles per hour up to 3 days. Fortunately, the NASA astronauts knew exactly where the command module was after it had supposedly traveled 768,000 miles. It's also important to note that not one person on Earth was able to film this command module orbiting the moon with a telescope. You can supposedly see dark craters on the moon that are only 1 kilometer in diameter, but you can't see a large chrome spacecraft that would be reflecting sunlight like a mirror orbiting the moon dozens of times. There should be dozens of amateur astronomy videos showing the command module orbiting the moon, but they don't exist. But I especially love this Apollo 11 redocking footage. This is absolutely ridiculous. These are 1960 special effects and are obviously fake to even a child. Look at the jerky motions. Look at the total lack of thrusters being used. I've had many people ask me if this is genuine NASA footage, and yes, it is.
I can't say it's shit.
I actually feel pretty bad for
genuine
you if
NASA footage, okay.
That's a spaceship that just blasted off from the moon, traveling at 4,000 miles per hour. Maybe you noticed that the video footage of the docking lunar lander appears eerily similar and as fake as Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Exhibit 3. The preposterous Apollo ascent stage. The last video was shockingly ridiculous. Again, it's unbelievable that anyone with a brain, let alone a degree, believes that was a real spaceship traveling at 4,000 miles per hour docking in lunar orbit. Institutionalized conformity is amazingly powerful, as even individuals with a PhD won't allow themselves to question their institutions. But this gets even better. This is official NASA footage of the Apollo 15 and 17 ascent stages. Remember, the engine was never even allegedly turned on beforehand. In addition to the preposterous and obviously fake footage, NASA claims that it used a remote control to operate the camera on the moon buggy left behind, and then beamed that video footage back to Earth 234,000 miles away. We didn't even have decent television remote controls in 1972, but NASA could not only operate the camera from 234,000 miles, NASA could also pan up and follow the lunar ascent stage and zoom out all in real time without delay. Look again, the camera zooms out and pans up in real time, and this remote control was supposedly 234,000 miles away. That, ladies and gentlemen, is impossible. Does anyone here actually think this looks real? One other thing.
And the more you look at this stuff, it just gets more absurd, doesn't it?
There's no thrust from the nozzle. Yes, there should have been a huge flame.
It's pulled up. There's probably a huge crane in the background there. Some sort of pulling device on the top of the crane. It's just pulling it up.
From the nozzle.
But it could even be like something as simple as it being just a balloon filled with helium.
Ladies and gentlemen, is impossible. Does anyone here actually think this looks real? One other thing. Notice that there is no thrust from the nozzle. Yes, there should have been a huge flame and obvious light source from the nozzle. Exhibit 4. No blast crater and no scorching. This is a 7,500 pound thruster. Look at its power. Look at its heat. Look at the light it creates. Look at the dust it kicks up. And yes, the Apollo astronauts claim that its lunar lander also kicked up dust, and the phony footage shows the same. The Apollo lunar lander had a bigger thruster at 10,000 pounds. Obviously, the 10,000 pound thruster failed to displace
Hey Martin,
or scorch.
welcome in,
any
dude.
of the
Great to see you,
soil.
dude.
In one case, you can see the nozzle is
Martin's
actually
in the
bent
house.
as it collapsed on the surface. The nozzle is literally buried in the ground.
Welcome
and
in,
still,
Post.
it did not affect the lunar soil. It's very clear a crane sat this lunar lander down on the soil. There was no rocket.
Yeah.
Exhibit 5. The marionette astronauts. I already touched on this in my last video, but the evidence is compelling. The astronauts were dangling from wires, and you can see it multiple times. This video proves that the astronauts did dangle by wires. There really isn't much more to say then. How in the world do you believe in this nonsense? Exhibit 6. The unmistakable Apollo movie backdrop. You can clearly see the use of 1960s movie artificial backdrops here. It's obvious. The backdrop lines are visible throughout all the missions.
Yeah.
In this case,
Every
you can
single
even see
one.
the
This is the Kubrick thing, right? That's the studio. That's all the backdrop or a projection. Yeah. Again, studio projection, and you can see this in all these images. You can see it in every one. There it is again. Same thing. The backdrop of the projection on the back there. This is studio.
carpet used to blend in with the backdrop. No reasonable person can deny that these are movie backdrops. This was not filmed on the moon.
Yep, there it is.
Exhibit 7. Thousands of studio quality photos. Our NASA actors were able to impossibly produce thousands of studio quality photos. What's wrong about that? It is the fact that the astronauts did not have the ability to use the viewfinder to frame their shots or to manually adjust aperture, focus, or shutter speed, and do so all without the benefit of secondary light sources. But the astronauts managed to do this nearly every time. This can't happen in real life. Here's how McGowan put it, skipping ahead 2 sentences. Simply stated, it would not have been possible to capture any of the images allegedly shot on the moon in the manner that NASA says they were captured. Back in the day, you see, and the younger readers may again want to cover their eyes, cameras weren't all that smart, so everything had to be done manually. The photographer had to manually focus each shot by peering through the viewfinder and rotating the lens until the scene came into focus. The proper aperture and shutter speeds had to be manually selected for each shot as well to ensure a proper exposure. That required peering through the viewfinder as well to meter the shot. Finally, each shot had to be properly composed and framed, which obviously also required looking through the viewfinder. The problem for the astronauts is that the cameras were mounted to their chests, which made it impossible to see through the viewfinder to meter, frame, and focus the shots. Everything, therefore, was pretty much of a guess. Focusing would have been entirely guesswork, as would the framing of each shot. An experienced photographer can accurately estimate the exposure settings, but the astronauts lacked such experience, and they were also handicapped by the fact that they were viewing the scenes through heavily tinted visors, which meant that what they were seeing was not what the camera was seeing. To add to their troubles, they were wearing space helmets that seriously restricted their field of vision, along with the enormously bulky pressurized gloves that severely limited their manual dexterity. The odds then of getting even one of the 3 elements, exposure, focus, and framing, correct under those conditions on any given shot would have been exceedingly low. And yet, amazingly enough, on the overwhelming majority of the photos, they got all 3 right. The fact that NASA astronauts took 5,771 photos is another major issue as well. Here's how one commenter put it. NASA wants the world to believe that 5,771 photographs were taken in the combined time of 4,834 minutes over an alleged 6 missions. This equates to Apollo 11, 1 photo every 15 seconds. Apollo 12, 1 photo every 27 seconds. Apollo 14, 1 photo every 62 seconds. Apollo 15, 1 photo every 44 seconds. Apollo 16, 1 photo every 29 seconds. Apollo 17, 1 photo every 26 seconds. Given all the facts, was it possible for 2 men to take that many photos in so short a time? Any professional photographer will tell you it cannot be done. Virtually every photo was a different scene or in a different place, requiring travel. As much as 30 miles travel was required to reach some of the photo sites. Extra care had to be taken shooting some stereo pairs and panoramas. Each perfectly exposed and perfectly framed picture was taken on a chest-mounted camera without a viewfinder, using manual camera settings with no automatic metering, while wearing a bulky spacesuit and stiff, clumsy gloves. The agency wants the world to believe that 5,771 perfectly exposed and perfectly framed photographs were taken in 4,834 minutes. If nothing but photography had been done, such a feat is clearly impossible, made even more so by all the documented activities of the astronauts. Imagine 1.19 photos every minute that men were on the moon. That's 1 picture every 50 seconds. The secret NASA tried to hide has been discovered. The quantity of photos purporting to record the Apollo lunar EVAs could not have been taken on the moon in such an impossible time frame. Exhibit 8. The Liars Press Conference. One of NASA's biggest blunders in 1969 was the fact that it didn't hire very good actors. On August 12, 1969, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin attended their first major press conference. This is the first big conference of the Apollo 11 astronauts, and it was only 2 days after the astronauts were released from quarantine. Their faces tell it all. They are not happy with what they are doing. They look like they were being forced to tell a lie, and they showed no excitement that would accompany 3 men who walked on the moon. But the funniest part to me is when one of the reporters asked whether they could see stars while on the surface of the moon. Armstrong said that he couldn't recall seeing stars, and then Michael Collins added that he didn't remember seeing any. You can see Armstrong was bothered by Collins's answer. Collins's answer is hilarious because Michael Collins was never on the surface, and so he had no reason to answer the question. In addition, Michael Collins was the pilot of the command module, and he would have allegedly seen the most amazing show of stars on the dark side of the moon, better than any person that had lived up till that time. Michael Collins supposedly saw the dark side of the moon 27 times, and he doesn't remember seeing any stars. Exhibit 9.
Right.
The ridiculous lunar rover. First, how in the world did NASA plan for a fold-up dune buggy to attach only on the later Apollo flights? The lunar rover was only used on Apollo 15, 16, and 17. Are we to believe that NASA left a big trunk for a fold-up dune buggy in the designs of the lunar lander? It had wheels, it had batteries, it had seats, a satellite dish, and other components in addition to the frame. That's not something that you fit in your luggage. Next, the fold-up dune buggy was on one side of the craft. Was it not a concern for NASA to test fly the lunar lander with extra weight on one side of the craft? Of course, NASA never thought it necessary to perform even one test flight. Next, there was no scientific purpose of the lunar rover other than it looked neat for the movie cameras. This is another instance where you need to apply some common sense. By introducing a moon buggy, which had no scientific purpose, NASA was taking the unreasonable and reckless risk that one of its astronauts would get injured, jostled, cause a malfunction in one of the packs, or break down.
Petrified wood.
How easy would it have been for an astronaut to hit a rock and cause a part of his suit to malfunction, or for the astronaut to get thrown from the vehicle? What if the vehicle broke down after hitting a rock covered in dust? This wasn't a minor risk, as is clearly seen in the photographs. The astronauts had poor visibility and were cruising around in conditions like these, where even the smallest problem could kill the astronaut. There's simply no way that the reckless lunar rover would have happened. What's even more funny about the lunar rover is the fact that it really looks like it was just a remote-controlled car with an action figure. The astronaut never moves from his uncomfortable position. But even more damning is the fact that many times the rover didn't produce tracks, or produce tracks in strange ways. Here is a sampling of photographs of the strange and missing rover tracks.
It's out of scale. In some pictures, it looks completely out of scale.
Exhibit 10, proof of secondary light sources. Of course, NASA could have easily filmed the Apollo movies with just one light source, but NASA needed those thousands of studio quality photos, and so NASA did use other light sources. Mythbusters tried to deceive its audience by busting this photograph by using a grainy, darkened version, and still failed to create the lighted astronaut as depicted in the demonstration. I changed out the darkened NASA photo used by Mythbusters and replaced it with the NASA original. Do you see the huge difference? Now, compare the original NASA photo with the Mythbusters version. Mythbusters certainly did not bust this argument whatsoever, and Mythbusters lied about it. But what's more telling is what Mythbusters ignored, and that's this photograph. This one photograph proves the entire Apollo mission's false, as it is 100% impossible for that astronaut to be lit up like that on the shaded side of the lunar lander without additional light sources. Exhibit 11, the tinfoil thin lander.
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. I've got stuff to do this afternoon. Where are we at? Find the outros. There we are.
The greatest form of control is where you think you're free when you're being fundamentally...
A huge shout out to everybody in the chat today. Appreciate it, guys. Big shout out to Honor, Slow, Dawn, Craig. I'm the Craig, Slow, host, Dr. E. Welcome in, Dr. E. Captain Caveman, Cap's in the house.
We are being hypnotized by people like this.
Big shout out to all the ladies that come in today.
Teachers,
Dan MC,
we
shout out
are
to 5.
in a country and in a world that is being run
Fiona,
by unbelievably sick
Laura,
The chasm
Dr.
between
Bob,
what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely...
Dead Honor, Chills, Graham, come in earlier than he is. Tarmo, Logical, can't get Logical, Slow, Hey Grumpy Grandad, Lev, Stoots, Dr. Bob, anyone I've forgotten I do. Apologise, I can't go right up. So.
Everybody is slaves.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody. I love you too, Tarmo.
That's the reason
Hey Liz,
so many guns in my lab.
great to see Liz in. I hope you're doing well, Liz.
Yeah, they shade time.
Awesome.
They just spray it proudly. George Bush, the grandson of Alistair Crowley. They want you to believe the lie that the enemy's Saudi. The enemy ain't Saudi, the enemy around me. It's fluoride in the water, but nobody know that. It's also a prominent ingredient in Prozac. For real? How could any government bestow that upon people who believe in political throwback? That's not all that I'm here to present you. I know about the Black Pope and Solomon's Temple. Yeah. About the Vatican assassins and how they will get you. And how they clone Barack Hussein Obama in a test tube.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's
Moon's hollow. Could be.
These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us fight and be slaves. And everybody's just walking around, out in the clouds, who wanna wake up to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end.
Whoever built the pyramids had knowledge of electrical power. And you know that that's the information that they suppress and devour. Who you think the motherfuckers that crashed in the tower? Who you think that made it turn into ash in an hour? The same ones that invaded your own. The ones that never told you about the skeletons on the moon. Yeah, the ones that poison all the food you consume. The ones that never told you about the Mount Vesuvius tombs. The bird flu is a lie. The swan flu is a lie. Why would that even come as a surprise? Yeah, the beast has war, your laws made you die. It caused cancer and it cost a lot of people their lives. The Y'all know about Bohemian Grove, how the world leaders sacrificing children in robes. Lucifer is God in the public school system. I suggest
Yeah, what we do, we watch the rest of that next Thursday. I'll put a few more onto the list there as well while I'm at it.
And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds, and wanna wake up to a dead in the grave. But then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real.
If you can persuade them that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see, you got them. Because they'll laugh in the face of an explanation that portrays the bigger picture of what's happening. And they have.
"25 years I've been on the force. I've seen every kind of sick, depraved act known to humanity, and still, when I see a black man walk by who has more money than me, I want to vomit my gizzards right into...
Oh, big shout out to Tommy as well.
Why?
Thank you, Tommy.
Maybe there is no reason. Maybe there's just a big blue ball out there that's mostly covered with water, and we're just going along for the ride."
DJ Ill Will.
Oh, this is Mo jiggling balls in your mouth all day, every day. Hey, you tuned in to Fuck What You Heard Radio, where you can stick a dick in your ear and shut the fuck up, bitch. But anyway, we got your new K-Dot record. I know you in traffic. Where you at, baby?
Down Rosecrans, 87 Regal, sipping on a gold can, gun tucked like the fetal position. Top dog coalition, coexisting with the codest, whoever quoted from California district. Been a corner like David Banner, I'm the owner of the marijuana aroma. You smelling, hit a donut, yelling, it's me, bitches. Who did it? I did it. Take them where they can't go. Like Planet Venus, leaning like a mad scientist. Laboratory bottles of empty Heineken, telling stories about the ones that came before me. Chinaman squinting this eye because I'm blooded. Him, my shine is bigger than a strike of lightning. And they like it him because I like to win, never lose. Put me on a pedestal, bet I pedal victories until I pedal off my shoes. Welcome to the Lion's Room. Challenge anybody home. Wanna try they luck, they get fucked up and all you heard was ooh. Say hello to the little big homie, and your reality ain't realer than this, homie.
Friday. This. Yeah, huge shout out to everybody coming today. I do appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time, next Thursday, 9:30 GMT AM. Till then, take care. Have a great weekend, everybody.